Hello there, David Thompson here from theworldoftech.net, and in this video I'll be taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy 2. This is going to be the full, in-depth review. So, if we begin, the Samsung Galaxy is by far not the latest and greatest phone on the market at the moment. However, it still is one of the massive competitors for the iPhone 4, and it still has a massive place in the market as far as smartphones are concerned. So with other smartphones, it's still one of the big competitors out there. I'm going to start by talking about the specifications on this phone. You get a 1.2 GHz dual-core processor in here, which is quite hefty for a smartphone. I know there's talking about quad-core processors now, however dual-core is still a strong standing compared to them single-core phones. It has a 1GB of RAM, which is excellent. In other smartphones on the market, you're still finding 512 megabytes. 512 megabytes in a smartphone these days just simply is not enough. It is just too little to use all them resource intensive applications out there. You get included a 32GB internal capacity storage, so you've got 32GB on this model. There is other models where you get different capacities depending on what you want, and of course that affects the price. You've got up to 32GB of storage on a micro SD card, so you can put an SDHC card inside there, up to 32GB, which is completely reasonable to put some music on, etc. On the front here, it has a 2-megapixel camera, which is better than VGA cameras, which you're still finding on smartphones. It's still not the best camera, but yes, it's only used for voice calls. And on the back here, we've got an 8-megapixel just there with a flash, which is excellent. Back to the front, it has a 4.3-inch screen. It is a Super AMOLED Plus display. And it's also got Samsung's own display, so it's Samsung's Super AMOLED Plus display, which is their own, and this screen is brilliant. If I just show you it here, it is so clear compared to any other phone I've used. I would say it's just as good, if not better, than the iPhone and Apple's Retina display, which it is quite hard to find something which is better or just the same as that on the market. The resolution of this is 480 by 800 pixels. Which is brilliant, and that is pretty much the screen. It takes up pretty much the whole of the front of the phone with a bit of white bezel around the edge, which is very nice, and the 3 physical buttons, well, the 1 physical button down at the bottom and the 2 touch buttons, which do light up with a white LED. It is so stylish, this phone. I cannot express it anymore just how stylish this white model of this phone is. Up there next to the front facing camera, you've got 2 optical sensors, and up here you've got 1 microphone, and down there you've got another microphone. So when you're in a call, the quality is brilliant. I have had several calls and people have gone, "Is that really a smartphone you're on? Are you sure?" And I said, yes, it is absolutely a smartphone I am calling on. People are really impressed with the sound quality of this phone. So that's the hardware and specifications. If I just show you the general hardware as far as buttons are concerned, it's very minimalistic. Around the side we've got a very nice silver bezel which matches the white perfectly. We've got the volume up and down. There we've got a little hole sensor there. On the top we've got the 3.2-inch jack. If I'm right there, it is definitely a headphone jack. On the bottom we've got the port to charge it up, which is tinsy for the tinsy adapter which connects to it. My only criticism there is that if the charger could be white instead of black. To see the charger, please head over to the unboxing where you can see everything you get in the box with this phone. On this side is the lock button, so you click lock, it locks, and when you click unlock, you're greeted with this password unlock. Well, not password, more of encryption code. I set this in the settings and it doesn't come by default. I really love this feature of Android, and I will mention more about Google Android later on. On the back we have Samsung written on the back and just the 8-megapixel camera there. The back is quite flimsy, and as I undo it there, it's very thin, flimsy, like the majority of Samsung backs of phones, but I suppose that is to keep the weight down of the phone. The weight of this phone is phenomenal. It is only 116 grams. When it is in your pocket, it doesn't even feel as if it's in your pocket. It's so light to hold in the hand, and to be honest, I would rather use this for a long amount of time than the iPhone 4. Or even the iPhone 4S, which it is now. So when you open up the flimsy back, you get a SIM card slot where you put your SIM card, and this is a a unlocked phone, so you can use it on any network you want. And there's the battery and the place where you can put your SD card. If we just put the flimsy back on, and that's what I'm calling it, the flimsy back. But I suppose that's what keeps the weight down of this phone. We just clip that back on in the corners like so, nice and easy. It comes off very easily like so, which is brilliant. Very easy indeed. So I'm now going to show you some of the operating system. As I'm holding this phone in my hand, it's nice and light and it's nice and thin. Have you seen how thin this phone is? It is thinner than the iPhone 4S, and it's thinner than the iPhone 4 and thinner than most other smartphones on the market. Unbelievably thin this phone is, which is excellent. If I just unlock the phone, the first thing you're greeted with is indeed here the home screen, or what you could call the home screen. This runs Google Android 2.3 by default, and it comes with Samsung's Touch Wizard interface version 4 also, which is their Touch Wizard interface, which works along with Google Android. I am a fan of Google Android, and please stay tuned for future videos on Google Android and iOS. I prefer Android, but that's my personal opinion. It does include 7 home screens, and on these 7 home screens, some of them are blank as you can see here, I have widgets. These are live widgets, so you can have your Twitter feed and news feed, your mail, and even the time and the weather, which is excellent. You also have these little shortcut widgets, which is shortcut to applications. When applications are running, it's very fast, it flies along, as with the 1 GB of RAM, which is quite large, and the 1.2 dual core processor. And it really does need that dual core processor for the programs it's going to be running. As you see, if I just open the default Twitter application, snappy, straight away, that opened very fast. It didn't even have to think about it really, it opened so fast. Another thing is, the feature I like is on the desktop, live wallpapers. As you see here, the wallpaper's actually moving. As you see, the tides coming in and the clouds are moving across the screen. Of an evening, there is multiple wallpapers you can choose from, and of an evening this will actually change to darkness, so it changes throughout the day, which is great. These live wallpapers, I very much like them. Another thing on the home screen is the notification system. By dragging it down from the top, the iPhone does now have this with iOS 5, but it never did before, and I much prefer this notification system. It notifies you when you need a calendar event, it notifies you conversations in Skype, it notifies you when you get a message or an email. It's an excellent notification system, and I don't think any other operating system's really going to beat this notification system. Up at the top you have to turn Wi-Fi on and off, you have the option for Bluetooth on and off, you also have GPS, sound, and turn and lock auto rotation. This is great, so if you want to quickly save some battery life, you can deactivate a few, and then when you want to reactivate them, you just drag down this menu and reactivate whatever you want to reactivate. It is simple as that. So now if we talk about the camera a little bit. The camera is excellent, as a lot of other things are on this phone. If we just hit the camera there, on the applications page, as you see here, you'll just see the white background, but I have been playing about with the camera. It's got a flash also, and also the front facing camera. If we just press the change to front facing camera button, if it wants to work, there we go. And it is changed to the front facing camera. So here you can see me on the camera, and if we just change it back, the front facing camera is 2 megapixels and the back facing camera is 8 megapixels. So I'm just going to show you now just a few of the photos which I have taken, and as you will notice, they're so sharp. The focus is excellent with the automatic focus on this phone, and these photos really are good. However, when it comes to video content, it's not as crisp as the photo content. However, it still is excellent, as you can see there, and the sound quality is pretty good as far as smartphones go. With the front-facing camera, I'm not too concerned about that, as that will only be for voice call. You won't really be recording video content on that. It will just be for video calls and conferences. So, overall, this phone is light, it's great, it's got an excellent operating system on, it's got Android on there. You couldn't ask for a better operating system. It's got the marketplace, free applications, etc. It's got everything on there you need. It's light, high build quality, apart from this very plastic back here, which I'm not too fond of. However, it does do, and it's what keeps the weight of this phone down. It's SIM free. You can get it on any network you want: O2, T-Mobile, Virgin Media, whatever network you want it on, and you can get this phone between £400 and £500 on the market now. As it isn't the newest phone, it has dropped in price a bit. Please be sure to follow us on Twitter at World of Tech UK. Head over to theworldoftech.net for more tech news and reviews, and I will see you in the very next video. Bye for now.